everybody? Welcome to Crunch Gaming X EVC once again. It's me and Draco. I'm back, and we've got a very exciting match today. We've got Team Sakura versus Angry Nerds. How are you, Draco? And how do you think these games are gonna go?
Honestly, I am doing great. It's been a while, but we're back. But I mean, we have to look at these games and you just tend to wonder, it's like, okay, how far have these players gone? And then you see, like, okay, they have performed quite well. Like right now, I'll just pull up the stats if we want for Andy Sakura, and we tend to see something very interesting over here. You can see that Sakura is right now in the seventh position, which doesn't look that great for them, to be honest, because you then tend to wonder, okay, what could be going wrong for them? And as such, it's just like, okay, cool, who else is there? And then we've got Angry Nerds, who are in eighth. So both these teams have not won a game till now. So that means we could be seeing the first win in this tournament for either team. And that's what we want to see. We want these teams now. People might wonder, okay, why are we showing the players who are not performing that well? Well, they all are part of the tournament. It's different stages of the game where there could be, where the coordination and understanding would be there. So as such, you need to realize as to how you're doing this. So clearly we come over here and yeah, sleepy boy. I honestly feel you're just going to see these two teams have a good time today.
Yeah, I do like seeing two teams that are more evenly matched, even if it's the teams, like you said, that aren't doing as well. They're both 0 for 3. But at the same time, that does mean they're going to be pretty equally matched, and we should see an exciting game. Now, our map 1 is going to be Pearl, and we also have Split and Lotus coming after. Of course, Angry Nerds is going to be starting on defense of Pearl. How do you favor any team over another on Pearl, or do you favor a side over another team, or is there like an agent comp that you like more over another?
I mean, I'm just thinking about this. I'm going to look at the stats, but over here, I'm just trying to get a little bit of stats. I want to be that little bit of a nerd. But the one thing which is interesting over here is on Pearl, I was just reading about this. Ideally, because we're going to Pearl, the few agents you can play around, or mainly we're going to see Sky. And surprisingly, we are going to see Killjoy as well. Like, this is what my prediction is, because I simply feel like that is how it's going to be. We're going to see Sky, we're going to see Killjoy. And as such, you tend to wonder, okay, what can happen next? Who are the other players who could be there? In the sense of a duelist, I honestly feel one team might run Phoenix, you never know. But ideally, I think so we're going to see Chamber come back because it has been a while and I want to see Chamber back into our servers and wrecking everybody else. So that's that.
Yeah, Pacific actually in Pacific LCQ we saw, I don't remember the team name, but the winner of
Zeta.
LCQ, yeah,
Zeta
they were
Division.
running Chamber, yeah, and so I do think with these recent Chamber buffs, I think Chamber is a lot more viable of an agent. I still think Jet might be a little bit better on Pearl, but like you said, Phoenix could come out. I've been watching some Game Changers, and in Game Changers North America, we saw quite a bit of Phoenix Jet combos on Pearl. You can or sometimes raise in Phoenix just so that way you can get up very quickly. And then you can also get into this site using Phoenix. You can flash in, and then your team can push in. So you get Jet to push up quickly, find any of those early picks down, let's say B long. Then you got Phoenix to do the actual entry. So it should be an interesting series. There's no real good defined meta on Pearl, at least not yet, and especially with these sort of changes to the meta, it should be interesting to see what these teams pull out. Like you said, I think Sky's a good initiator. I actually like KO a little bit better, but I do think again there's no real good defined meta. So whatever these teams prefer to play on, I think that's what they should be going for. Especially considering neither of these teams have won a game yet. I think it would make sense to just go with what they're comfortable with and hope that can take them to a victory.
I mean, exactly. I mean, each to their own comfort. Ideally, you look at comfort when you're seeing a team, and ideally, you're trying to understand, okay, there comes to a point like we were talking about game changers, and that's actually a very good point because one thing when I was watching game changers, I realized is that the players over there, the girls, the players, they're very smooth in a sense of they are sometimes choosing their comfort picks. So you'll see very random team comps. But those team comps work. I mean, a good example of this would be Team SMG GC, who on Pearl, again, Global Esports Phoenix, they had a 4 duelist comp. And the entire time, what they were doing was okay, because they had a 4-0 score, they won 8 rounds on defense. And how did they do that? It was very simple. It was clearly a situation of, yeah, we are going to do one thing, we are going to contest A main and we're going to contest B main every time. So it was immediately dual fights. So you have to play with the agent who you've got, but at the same time, you have to also be like, okay, look, you cannot have a Reina and wait at the back of site. So there's that as well. But clearly, we are going. I'm curious to see what are the agent selects today, or like who are the agents who are going to be picked today as well. So it's quite curious for me. But I honestly, Sleepy Boy, if somebody does take KO, they need to know how to use the null command. That's all. Because many times we see people rushing onto site, they have ulted, and after the null command has died, they or the time is over, they're going and attacking still. But you're not going to get res. You cannot get res if you die. So that's that.
All right, it looks like we might be getting ready to throw it over to the game. I'm pretty excited about this one. I think one of the more important things when it does come to these teams is sort of just making sure that you understand how to use your kit. You can go for whatever comp you want, but if you don't know how to use your abilities, it may not pan out well for you. So, sort of what we're looking for. And yeah, let's see if we get into this. Here we go. Into the agent select on Pearl. And it does look like I said, we do have Angry Nerds starting on defense. And we will have over on the other side, Team Sakura. Now, we actually see an interesting pick on the side of Team Sakura. You got that Sky you were talking about, the running double controller, which is viable. They've got Harbor and Astra. But they've got a Cypher. You don't see Cypher a whole lot on Pearl because of those really long and hard to hold entrances onto the site. There's also a whole lot of map you need to control. And sometimes Killjoy's kit will be a little bit more useful for that, like we see coming out from Angry Nerds. But this should be very interesting. And then over on the side of Angry Nerds, we've got that KO I was talking about.
Yeah, I mean, KO is one of my favorite agents in this game since its release with Astra. And clearly, we are going to see a unique combo here. I mean, you see Sky. I told about Sky being omnipresent, but Omen. Interesting. You've only Omen is tough. It's a tough pick over here because ideally you have to look at a situation like, okay, fine, I can use smokes and I can cover either secret, flower, or A link when you're going into A. Into B, you either cover tower or you cover tunnel. But what about B link? You leave a lot of space over there. So it's going to be kind of interesting because the only controller is Omen. So on the attack, I don't know how are they going to block a lot. Are they going to focus or put a mega emphasis on flashes? Because you look at it and you've got 3 flashes. You've got a Paranoia, you've got 2 Sky flashes, and you've got 2 Chaos as well. So that's that.
Yeah, you're definitely right. Having an Omen as your controller is a little bit strange. Typically, again, double controller is what we've typically seen. That's why we see Harbor Asher, which is still pretty uncommon. Typically, if you've got a Harbor, you'll also have a Viper, just because you can sort of dominate the map in that sense. But Harbor Astra has a similar effect. Obviously, Astra's kit is quite a bit different from Viper's, but it is still going to provide that sort of same double controller, massive amount of site control. And that's why having the Cypher isn't as big of a hindrance, is because some of that controller util, although it won't provide recon or help you gain site control necessarily, it can help you gain control of the site in the sense of blocking off vision, which can definitely help you out here. But over on the side, you're right. Angry Nerds running this sort of Omen is very off meta, especially by themselves. As your only controller, Omen is very limited in the kit that is provided as far as the smoke ability, and is typically more of an aggressive agent, going to be on lurking a lot. But because you only have one controller, you don't get that opportunity to lurk. So it will be interesting to see how this Omen is utilized, and we'll see as we get into this pistol.
I mean, exactly. If you get into this, so you can see it's a clearly an B push. But ideally, they're like, hey, come on, let's just push back because now that's all they can expect. The Harbor Tide comes in. You have to go for pot shots over here. So the Omen smoke, interesting. So it comes into sight and using the Skyrod, they're getting all the information. But the picks are already done. There's a little bit of aggression that was through mid. And using the Harbor wall, you can clearly get the plant down. But I'm surprised that nobody's even challenging. This plant is coming in the middle of sight as well. So clearly now there's no flank by Cypher, and I think the KO, if you look in the minimap, he's looking at the flank. He's wondering, could there be somebody? Because there's one pick over there. So how are they going to play on this Diffie? Because they only have Omen smokes. So how are they going to play this out? It's going to be very interesting to watch out.
Ooh.
Last player standing.
At this point, it's KO in a 1v3. What can you really do? Getting that Asher utility used to play post plant very, very well. This is becoming more and more unwinnable. And not even going to find another. 3 kills come through. And I am definitely very interested to see how Angry Nerds tries to bounce back from that. Obviously, I'd argue they're running a more offensive sided team comp and they're starting on defense, so they're gonna struggle a little bit. Especially only having one controller, it makes it very, very difficult to take map control, especially with how big Pearl is. It's difficult to get those smokes all the way across the map. So it will be interesting here to see if that Omen can bounce back a little bit.
I mean, clearly you have to wonder what could be done now. Now that you've got, I mean, this round you can just give it away. It's okay, fine, you get it. Like, you can't do much about it. There's nothing more that you can expect as well. But at the same time, you have to just be like, okay, cool, what more can I do now? And clearly now the rush into B, they get into side, which is very good to them. And this is where it doesn't look good, does it now? Like this time also there's no form of contesting. I'm surprised that there's no harbor cove being used on the plant. It just gives that little bit of how they put health or just protection. But nothing said, the attackers are making the most out of it. The flank is coming into play. Is the Cypher looking to knife? Oh no, he's got the bulldog out. The Omen teleport comes in clutch for now, getting a bit of control of back of sight as well. I don't think so that they know that there is a Cypher just waiting for them. Waiting. Is the Cypher going to peek? No, he doesn't. But guess what? It doesn't even matter at this point, does it?
Yeah, like you said, going into that round, there was really no hope for Angry Nerds. It's a force buy off of the pistol round win, typical eco and round structure, as you see quite often. So now we're going to see on the side of Angry Nerds, they're going to be able to take this this buy. They're going to be able to get a full buy going. They should have the gun advantage, and this will be the opportunity to see if Angry Nerds will be able to find any value. Again, both of these teams are currently 0 for 3 in their series, in their total series played. And so now coming into this one, we need to see these teams show some promise and be able to bounce back and find some wins. We'll see if Angry Nerds is going to be able to prove that they're a team to contest for those wins.
Exactly. I mean, it's these times where you're just like, where you feel like hope is gone, and Azula is just wondering, okay, I have to make sure that I have to play a bit more. There's a little bit of aggression that you can see over here. And clearly a player like Maya is just like, okay, I can sense this, I can feel it. Like you can see he's playing a bit more passive. He realizes that what he needs to be done. But Mr. Knight just wondering, okay, I am getting the angle. If he gets this angle right, he's immediately going to get a headshot. But nothing doing says the dog and his position is given away with ease now. Now it tends to wonder how are you going to play on the post man, because the defense is like, they have the superior weapons. But is this going to be helpful now?
Okay, out. Nope. They get cleared out.
I mean, clearly you have to now wonder, okay, you can use all this util, you can just lay the plant as much, but immediately the reckoning comes into play, and that's not going to be good now, is it? And the defense are making the most out of this. Even though there is a reckoning, it doesn't matter. And clearly you can see our players just like, yep, you know what? Tommy's like, I'm just going to have the old... I mean, these were the old Vandals. I think everybody's waiting for the new champion Vandal, and that's nice. It's nice to know.
Yeah, I mean, getting a flawless on your buy really boosts your econ. So Angry Nerds, although they lose the pistol, and then of course the round after that when they're on eco, getting a flawless on their buy is going to be really good for an early start for them. And this could allow them to take more space and get some more rounds here. Obviously, that was a gun advantage for Angry Nerds. So this round, the first buy from both sides will be the opportunity to show whether or not these teams and put up a fight. In that previous round, we did see a really good defense played by Angry Nerds. They were able to get through the harbor smokes. They were able to find those early picks, and then they could just continue to play off of those. They knew how to clear out that post plant, and those players playing post plant from A main. And so hopefully we continue to see that proactive ability to shut down those post plant scenarios.
I mean, the post plant, I mean, you can either decide right now, like, because the thing is, how do I put it? They do have a lot of util. Sakura has a lot of util to use, and the defense is cleaning shop right here, getting a beautiful double kill. Angry is just like, yep, I just want a tango, and I'm gonna enjoy. And I mean, even though he's Thiago, he's gonna tango, but that doesn't work right now. And now the defense realizing that, okay, we've only got one man to deal with. This is going to be their round, and ideally, in an ideal situation, you are going to see the score go towards the banner comes into your own player. But I think so that is where you have. I mean, the post plant, they can do one thing. You've got 3 flashes. I mean, I'm showing my fingers over here like 3 flashes. You've got 3 flashes. You can use them to a point where they don't even know where are they shooting. Like, you have to create some form of disturbance, chaos with these flashes, because you're blinding them. So it depends how you want to play along with them. What do you feel, Sleepy?
Yeah, you're right. The KO flashes can be pretty powerful, especially when we're talking about trying to retake or stop those pushes. I'm just a little bit concerned for Team Sakura right now, because it just seems that util, although they showed an understanding of how to play post plant with it, as far as pushing onto site, they've been struggling to use that util other than some of that harbor util to clear out space. And I don't know. I'm a little bit concerned for Team Sakura, especially now that they have to take an eco. So this gives Angry Nerds likely the lead. We'll see what Team Sakura can pull out. Obviously, on your eco, you're just going to play as together as you can, rush in quickly, and we'll see if Angry Nerds will be able to put a stop at Nanostorm. Going to do a good job of doing just that.
I mean, exactly. You get the Nano Swarm, you delay that push, that inevitable push. But you can clearly see with the Harbor High Tide, it's literally blocking. So now there's one question which you have to think. As an attacking team, ooh, the Frontier Sheriff. Ooh, both of them have a Frontier Sheriff. That's nice. Okay, now when you play normal Valorant, you're playing on a bigger map like Pearl, you have to put presence on other sides of the map. Now, clearly, what has this resulted in is, you can see the KO knife comes into play, and now they're like, hey, look, there could be somebody here. But I think so Kyo doesn't realize what is he going to get into, because immediately the flash comes into play. The flash doesn't work. Jet dash, they're trying, they're going to push. Oh my god, there's so much of chaos right there in B-Link, but that's not effective. And clearly now that's opening shop for the defense. They can now use a bit of their mechanical aim, but they have to give away side, because you can see over here. But if they can delay the plant, because where is the spike? Spike is down, and the defense is just making the most out of this. And clearly now, Maya's just like, I can't do anything. I've got like 3 seconds left, and that's the end of the round. When we okay, that's nice by Maya. But yeah, I wanted to put this out. When you're playing like a Pearl, map like Pearl, you have a big map, so you have to show presence everywhere to just confuse the opponent. The minute you do a 5-stack at A or at B, you have to go for it. It's as simple as that. You cannot rotate back then, because then you're wasting time and util and abilities and that.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, to be fair, Sakura was on an eco. They were just trying to get in as quickly as possible, and then they weren't able to do that. But I would like to see, you're right, Team Sakura is just struggling to figure out how to effectively use their util in a way that allows them to be fluid and rotate and not use too much of it up, but also in a way that gives them the advantage in trying to push onto the site. And I think most importantly, they need to be finding early picks. We do maybe see that come through with that early pick, and it doesn't get traded off. So yeah, that does leave Team Sakura up players. They're getting ready to push towards A, going in through Art. They will have to combat against Tommy, and there you go. Tommy goes down. 2-player advantage now as they push into A site.
And you push into A site, and now clearly she is waiting. Azula's just like, yeah, come to me. I mean, I'm not too sure about the gender, but clearly Azula's are waiting for them. So now clearly the plan comes into play, and the attackers are like, you know what? Okay, we have this time shown a bit of presence in mid, and you rotate into A, and that is how it should be done. The trade comes into play, and it's a beautiful... How do I put it? 4v2. But, oh, the spam! If that had even got 1 player, you can see like 3 of them are low. This doesn't look good, does it now? But I think so Harbor can be healed by Skies using her regrowth. But clearly, the first pick comes, there's going to be nice right into your face. Gets one. Gets two. There's only a 2v2 now. Time is ticking. He's going for the head. He gets the head. But is there too much of time gone? Has he wasted so much of time for his team? There's nothing much he can do right now. All he can do is save that gun. And that would be that. The attackers get this round. And make it 3-all.
Yeah, I mean, what a good way for Team Sakura to bounce back, right? As I was saying, they needed to find those early picks. They were able to do so. They found some of those early picks going in through B Link. And of course, once you get that player advantage to start it off, you're gonna be able to boost yourself as you continue forward in the round. So again, if Team Sakura can continue to play together, because obviously when you're on offense, chances are wherever you go, you're gonna have numbers. So just making sure you can trade each other off if needed, or straight up just find a kill and then boom, you're up a player. Try and play a little bit more proactive, play a little bit more cohesively together, especially considering when Team Sakura has tried to go for those lurks and those individual plays, they've been shut down. I think it makes sense to be a little bit more proactive, and there you go. Already got a pick onto Tiago.
I mean, the pick on the play, and clearly that changes the tide for the team, doesn't it? We talk about tide, and the reckoning is down as well. Clearly, reckoning. You know, when Harbor first came out. I mean, I'll talk about this after the plan. But now, Mai is making sure that there is a flank through mid. But are they going to detect that there is a flank? They've never seen or expected anything. He might be going for a knife. Does he go? He gets one, and clearly he's gone down. Oh, he couldn't make the most of the timing. The Odin spam, but they have to push back, and the diffuse is in play now, but he's blind as he's blind as Harbor. This is going to be effective for them because now the diffuse is just being rotated off. They're not allowing them, they're just wasting time, and the Blades just finish it off. The Blades of Chaos are right there for you. But now clearly, let's just talk about this one, because one thing which Mai did very well was be the flank. Going through mid, waiting it out. Maybe they could have made more out of the situation. But anyway, they got the round, and I think so that's all that matters, doesn't it?
I think Team Sakura did, again, sort of what I was asking from them, which was just play together so that way you can try and find early picks and use numbers advantage. That's exactly what they did. They pushed down B long. The Bladestorm was able to find a pick. So if they can continue to find those early picks, again, like I keep emphasizing, if they can find those early picks, then they can put themselves in advantageous positions to take the rounds, because once you get a player up, it's pretty much over for the enemy team unless they find a good multi-kill.
I mean, what more could you add about this? The defense is playing as clinical as they should be. When they need to peek, they are peeking, and when they need to stay back, they're staying back. But look over here. This is a situation where Omen is... Oh my. Alert. Down, and guess what? That is that. Okay, this is where I think so the Omen teleport is now going to come. I didn't find a use case situation, but I think so. We have just seen it. He's just shown it to us. Mr. Officer's like, yep, patrol time. He's going to teleport away. So that's that.
Yeah,
but clearly, yes, sorry, you were saying something.
Oh, definitely. Again, after Team Sakura had so much success, just pushing in together. We saw the bounce back from Angry Nerds where they just denied it. Obviously, that initial exchange through Art found a pick, but it was traded off. And then we saw the KO able to find a pick through mid as well. And then the flank came through, which sort of secured or really sealed the coffin in a sense. So now I do need to see Team Sakura figure out how they can play a little bit better, maybe split up a little bit. Again, I do think Angry Nerds has been winning mechanical diff in a lot of cases. So again, Team Sakura just needs to play a little bit more together and continue to try and find those early picks and try and play together in a sense that you're not going to get flanked on and picked off easily. And they have a Cypher which has trips that have unlimited range on them. So try and use that to your advantage. That way you don't get flanked like they did in the previous round.
I mean, exactly. You have your ability, but the Omen teleport comes into play. And where is this? Ooh, that was interesting. Getting the information clearly through aiming and now forcing the push. We've got 50 seconds on the clock, and that is very interesting. The Omen is making sure, like, okay, whatever tricks and skills I can use, I'm going to use. The attackers are where they were 45 seconds ago, which is at spawn. There's so much of confusion. Officer is patrolling. He sees the Skydog. The smoke is going to come
30
down,
seconds left.
and immediately he's got another one ready. But the Scar has to has he? Yes, the Trailblazer is right here, and the Seekers have gotten them. But I don't know what is happening over here. The
Spike
Grove
planted.
also gets blinds a lot, and now they know everybody's here. There's no flank today, is there? Sleepy, do you think they're going to execute this clean? Is this going to be a clean execute? Are we going to see something very interesting now?
I mean, obviously you have to be careful on this map and know how to destroy that post plant from long, and I do believe Tommy's going to do this.
One enemy remaining.
Kills. Let's go. Cleaned up so quickly. You're right. That execute looked so beautiful. Again, when you're on Pearl, or even if you're acknowledging the fact that you might be on Pearl, you do end up practicing quite a bit how to take out that post plan from long. And that's exactly what we see Angry Nerds able to do, is just execute beautifully, understand where these players are playing from, and take them out from long.
I mean, now you have to wonder one thing. You have to clearly wonder, what can we do now? Because, I mean, ideally people be like, ah, wait, these are the two teams who are not the best in the tournament. They're playing against each other. But you can see how close the game is. It's one down on defense, one down to attack, one down to defense, one down to attack. Now defense has the advantage, and how are they going to make the most out of this? Uh-oh. I think so this is now not going to look good. They have to somehow deal with the KO knife simply coming and detecting them. Because the minute they're detected, I think so the defenders now realize. Angry are just like, hey, look, y'all are going to do the same thing again and again, and we're just going to punish y'all for it. So now they're stacking their players towards it. Just like, okay, come closer to us. The nerds are like, we are going to have a little bit. Like, clearly you can look at it. Look at Jet. Jet is ready for the flank. The backstab is just going to come into it. But the spam. Oh, they don't even realize there is going to be a flank. What is there? Oh, no, they know because she broke it down. Do they know? No, they don't. They get one. Gets another, and that is that. Thank you very much, says Andy Tango. Diago. Time to do some tango. I mean, yeah, tango. I like tango. Do you like tango?
Like the dance, I'm not a big fan, but you know what? In this type of game, doing a little bit of dancing around definitely can be to your advantage. I don't know. I feel like Team Sakura is sort of wasting some of this potential. In the kit that they have, they could get so much more control. I just feel like they're not using their Astra to entry. They're saving a lot of that util to try and play post plant with. But I feel like a lot of that controller util could also be used for clearing out common held positions, sort of like, say, Tiago with the Tango, going to take out the op and find the kill long.
Bada bing, bada boom.
They do have that Sky as well, and they're not really using that kit, again, to try and find that entry, flash those common places, and it's starting to impact their ability to perform on these entries.
Ooh, Knight has not been detected. This might not be looking good for the attack. They're going through A-Link, but guess what? Sky is just like, thank you very much. And Tommy is just proving this point. But it's, I mean, Kafka is there. Kafka is making sure, like, how much of information she can get using a doll, using her flashes as well, or even using her ultimate. It has to work in some way or the other. But the we were talking about this in the beginning. The flashes by KO, and then you can use the banner by Omen. But guess what? The peak comes into play. The trades come into play as well. And wait, am I allowed to see his name? I'm just gonna call him Lover. You know what? We're just gonna call him Lover. Lover is all alone in B main, and not B main. Or I say B link. So ideally, you can see that the split is coming to play. Sky can use her flash. Tommy can use her flash and be like, here. But Officer is here to patrol. He is patrolling the site. They say the hands of the law is bigger than anything in the world, or longer. And he finishes off a style. Defense, sleeping clean at this point. They are.
Yeah,
simply are.
That round really showed the power of finding early picks. You saw Angry Nerds, again, they found that early pick. Jet able to find that op shot down long, and at that point Team Sakura was trying to play recovery. They were just trying to even that player count back up. That's why they ended up going through art and taking fight and connector. Unfortunately for them though, those picks only got traded off, so they ended up maintaining being down a player, and it left them in a 1v2, and time pressure was applied and they had to stick that spike. So again, Team Sakura just needs to be able to trade each other off, or that op pick could have been easily avoided had they used that Sky Flash like I talked about, and then the op would have had to have backed off. You should be expecting the possibility of a Jet having an op, especially on Pearl. I would be very afraid of a Jet on screens, and I think they should have prepared to fight against that.
Clearly, we talk about that, and now the attackers realizing what have they got in store for them. Because you get a pick, but here's where the issue is: you rotate. Please rotate, but leave some form of information gathering or some agent that's just waiting for you. But guess what? B side is completely clear. This feels like a holiday. They don't need to use a lot of utils, and they can immediately plant. Oh my god! How have we reached here? The rotation.
Spike planted.
We talked about the rotation, but clearly, officer's looking over there. He's done the flank. He's not even destroyed the wires, and they don't know that there could be a flank. Could there? None of them are looking. Oh, okay. Harbor's looking for him. Harbor know that he could be sensing something. It's tingling. The off shot comes into play. The hop. Harbor gets officer, and the reckoning is down with the seekers as well. Now, how do they play this? Do they try? Oh, interesting. You go for the cipher camp first.
I suggest you move.
And the diffuse coming into play, the op shots just trying to ping whatever they can, but this I think is going to be too much for the defense. Will they be able to defuse right now? Because Harbor knows all he needs to do is just spam, and that is that. 7-5 to the first half. Very interesting.
I think there was a big
Switching
whiff on that
sides.
Omen flank. They had Paranoia, and then I think they just really thought they were not going to be expected on that flank. But realistically, you should have used your Paranoia because, a post plant on B is likely going to be played from long. So I would expect people to be playing there, and a good Paranoia, even if they're not expecting you to be there, the Paranoia could still be useful in making sure, just for a little bit of security. Obviously, we've got hindsight; we can see through walls. I knew we knew Harbor was watching, but at the same time, I would still want that Paranoia to come through. I would still want to see that denial of anybody watching flank, and then of course that's a big blunder there, and they don't find any value. Still though, Angry Nerds' upper players are moving to this pistol. If Angry Nerds, or not Angry Nerds, sorry, if Team Sakura is able to win this pistol, they could immediately look towards tying it up and trying to take this map back into their favor.
As they should. I mean, you get the first pistol round and it completely shifts your tide because you have a higher chance of taking it to 7-all. But clearly now there's something different that let's see if they, on attack, how do Sakura do this? Because if you look at the Nerds, how do they initiate this? Because ideally you can get all sort of information over here. The Skydog is simply going to give a lot of information. And I think so nobody is detected, so they are now expecting a B push, and they're quickly rotating. But guess what? The timing of the trip bar going down, including that of the Skydog finding nobody, is just not working in their favor, is it now? And Nerds have to put the plant down as fast as they can. He goes into the smoke, but guess what? It's not going to work in their favor, is it now? Blades is getting his man and shutting him down. And now the defense are wondering. They're wobbling. You can see the fright in their eyes. They're wondering, is this getting too much for us?
Piss off.
Oh, damn!
Here.
The time's ticking. The clock is going down. They have to initiate the defuse. Oh my god, the 1v1 is not a 1v1, it's a 1v2. Apologies, I couldn't see that. And that's that.
After what Tommy pulled out there, I think I'm just gonna start playing classic on pistols. I think there might be the play here, but of course I did say had Team Sakura won that, they may be able to tie it up. If they don't, Angry Nerds ends up winning it. And I would like to point out, I think both teams are now on the side that their comp favors. Obviously, double controller could still be favorable towards the offense, can definitely be very advantageous when you're trying to push onto site. But at the same time, running double controller also benefits you on a map like Pro, which has a very, very long rotate from each site. And so having double controller means you can take control of either site pretty easily. Meanwhile, on the side of Angry Nerds, they're running double initiator with the duelist, and they only have one controller. So this offense is going to be a little bit easier for them. Although their Omen smokes are going to be a little bit difficult to play off of just because there's so few of them.
I mean, exactly. Now, the smoke. I mean, see, Omen has 2 smokes. So, ideally, you have to know how do you make them best out of it. So, ideally, this time they're like, you know what, we're just going to get control. They're just going to block Black side and tower as well. Oh, this could get a bit saucy, and clearly the classics are coming to favor. Lover's trying, but
Player
Lover can't
standing.
do much, and now the superior weapon just comes, and Officer's like, yep, it's my time to patrol, y'all. It's as simple as that.
Spike
They
planted.
now know that there's somebody in tower using the alarm bots. Clearly, Mai has to now think it's a 3v1. He's on a classic. What more can you do? The flash doesn't get detected. There's no point saving a classic, but he has to go through the smoke and pray to God that there's nobody looking at him. But there's a form of spam out of nowhere. It feels like Officer just knew what is happening. The jump, the pray, the hope, but Officer's there. He's patrolling site. He's literally patrolling site with the easiest form possible. Man, today the law might take us all of you.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, similarly to what we said in the first half after that pistol, it was just going to be a gun advantage for Angry Nerds there. But 4-round lead is nothing to scoff at, even if 2 of those were because of pistol or having gun advantage, because now it's up to Team Sakura. They've got a big uphill battle ahead of them. In order to tie it up, they need to win 4 in a row. And although they have the gun advantage this round, next round will be a buy for both sides. So it will be interesting to see what Team Sakura can pull out here in the way of this buy. Hopefully for Team Sakura, they can win this, so that way they can try and bounce back and take that win. But at the same time, Angry Nerds has proven that they're not going to go down easy on this offense.
And you should never give up. I mean, you should never give it easy. I think so that's one thing which I've learned. But here you can see something very different from what we saw from Sakura. Angry Nerds are trying to show presence in 2 parts of the map. Here it is A-Link and it is A-Main as well. And clearly that is going to work in their favor, because at some point, like from art, you have to go through link. And if that works in your favor, they know, okay, you can detect the wire. But maybe now they know that there is a... What on earth happened? Okay, that is a strat and a half. But guess what? They get detected, the harbor goes down. And this doesn't look good now. But clearly, there has to be something done about this. And the defense is running. Kafka is just like, nah, I'm going to join up with my team. And we're going to execute this post plan together. So clearly now, if you have to look at this, how do you play this? The Astra Nebula is there. The stock has to be pushed into something. Okay, damn. I am still wondering over here, what are they waiting for? Are they waiting for time? Do they want to play? But the whiff doesn't help them. And Tommy doesn't. But the rotation. Officers here, but they don't know. The defense doesn't know where Thiago is. With the Odin, finish it off. And well, Officer. I should put my hands up at this point, man. I feel like he can catch any crime, yeah.
Team Sakura is just in such a bad spot off of that loss because, like I said, they lost the first 2, so they had the gun advantage there, and they lost it. They died, some guns are picked up, and well, obviously that flank was very impactful. At this point, I'm not sure if Team Sakura will be able to do much of anything. They haven't really shown that they know how to use this util to deny the pushes in. They tried, you saw in that round, a little bit of an art play off of that Cypher trip, but didn't come through with anything. Odin was pretty much a wasted purchase, very expensive for really no value, and it's even now in the hands of Angry Nerds, so it's actually going to be a hinder to them that they spent so much money in the previous round. I am definitely concerned because we'll see Angry Nerds inch closer and closer to a win. Wait a minute.
Okay, I am so confused. What?
Down B.
On earth just happened? How did the attack just give this round away? Officer left him, but Officer was not detected. That was the one thing. Officer used his ultimate to get into the close to spawn, and that clearly has now affected. Using the paranoia and the KO fragment. Sorry, I forgot the name of the ability. You can push away the side, but they have to plant. I mean, they've got 50 seconds. So ideally, right now, they can use this time to get some form of reconnaissance and plant it down. A bit of a spam could be expected. Oh my god! Damn! Mr. Knight! Is he the knight in shining armor? Wow. Why am I remembering all the stories today, man?
2v2. No command is available, but
enemy
don't really want to use it.
Oh.
No option now.
Blinded.
And now they know where he is, and that is that. My says, thank you very much. We don't need a knight. We don't need a knight. It's nighttime, but we don't need a knight in shining armor. But ideally now they would want to get Cypher's ability ultimate as fast as they can, because that's going to be very much useful. Yeah.
That was such an impactful play early on from this defense. Again, it shows the power of those early picks, especially on Pearl. It'll be difficult after losing a player and not getting that trade off. It can be very, very difficult to even that player count back out just because the way the map is structured, it allows for aggressive pushes. And so obviously they were able to even it back out, and it could have been one, but Angry Nerds just got caught out too easily by the defense. And so hopefully for Angry Nerds they can bounce back here, but Team Sakura winning that is a much needed win, as again they lost 3 rounds in a row to start off the half. So preventing that 4th round win should give them a little bit of a boost here to try and reclaim some of these rounds and move towards evening it back out. They only have 6 rounds versus the 10 that Angry Nerds currently has.
I wouldn't be surprised if Nerds decide to be like, you know what, we're just going to play this slow. We're just going to slowly take the orb and then decide what to do next. Because ideally, okay, he's on the Odin again. I think he likes the Odin quite a bit. But that was a beautiful pick by Azula. But that doesn't matter because lovers are there. The blind doesn't work in their favor, and the spam, they're hoping for a spam kill. Nothing doing, says. But they have to go for the arbor. They have to immediately pick him up. And I think so. Mr. Knight just does that. And clearly they should be focusing on the plant now and then pushing on to back side. But this plant is a unique position. Okay. The Astro Wall as well. I'm confused who does that support. But like you said, officers just looking, patrolling, guarding the spike, knowing that that's that, and this is the end.
Yeah, I actually think
Yeah,
that plant was to anti-strat the Cosmic Divide that they knew was going to come out. Because typically, if you plant on default on box, what's going to happen is you're likely going to be playing post-plant from art or for main, because that's what it's planted for. So that plant was for on-site or back of site or CT, right? So they were going to have to hold on-site, and then the Cosmic Divide came out and cleared out entrances that just weren't going to be held by the offense in that situation. Obviously, Team Sakura had no way of knowing that that spike was in that sort of off angle type of plant. So it will be interesting to see if Sakura is going to be a little bit wiser to that. But losing the Cosmic Divide, especially on defense, such a pivotal ult, is going to weigh on them.
I mean, yeah, you can laugh that one out. The chat can also look. The Blades of Chaos was there. But Skyzog was just like, nah, there's no need for you today. But this is an interesting knife. He's knifing to the back of the just trying to see if there's anybody behind the box, but he doesn't know that nobody's there behind the box. It's just a camera. Oh, but now we can see that. What? He has not been detected.
Way.
What? Does he get another? Yes, he does! Oh my god! Wingman! Wingman! Damn! It's just making me happy now. I'm Blaze. Oh, but the spike is down and nobody's close to it. The defense should. What is the defense doing? The spike is not there. Lads, look at the spike. Love up, please. Look. Okay, I think so. Harbor just checking the spike is gone. He's like, nope, nobody's taking the spike away. Tommy know that Harbor could be low because of the information given to him, because of how offensive the judge was used today.
Seconds left.
With a little time on the clock, let's see what happens. What does Sakura do? Can they get another pick? Can Wingman just maybe creep his way in? Oh, the timing is not going to look good. Oh, it doesn't work in his favor, and the plant has to come down immediately. Okay, nice tripwire. Okay, what is Tommy waiting for?
10 seconds left.
Make sure nobody's taunt, trying to clear it out. And what they fake the plant, nobody comes. So now it's a 2v2. We've seen this before with different players on either side. Operator.
Oh my god! Thank you very much. Says the attack, and the nerds have taken it away. It's as simple as
Team
that.
Sakura has more than an uphill battle at this point. They're gonna have to roll the boulder up the hill. They need to win 6 in a row to take it to OT, and then they still have to fight through overtime. And it's very clear Angry Nerds has so much control over this map right now. On the previous half, it looked like it was going to be closer, especially considering, you know, Angry Nerds were struggling on that defense. They ended up with the lead regardless, but still, I would have expected maybe Team Sakura to put up a better fight. Running double controller is going to favor your defense a little bit more than your offense, but it just doesn't seem like they're able to maintain when they have a clear advantage. They're not able to win their gunfights when they need to. It just seems like their mental is starting to drop lower and lower.
And lower and lower, and that could be it. But oh my god, Tommy's just like, nah. We are shutting shop. The first pick went against them. But clearly now Tommy and the officer, knowing that, yep, this is all that is. Blaze
Blocking
has to
vision.
somehow decide. Take the... Expecting that the jet was going to go tower. But the superior weaponry, that's that. Kafka, okay. Play on timing, you get two people. There is no backstab being put. This is going to be very interesting to watch out because it's all left to Wingman and Kafka. If Kafka gets the timing right, this is going to backfire very hard. Wingman has to wait. But I'm surprised the ultimate is not being used. I think so. They're just waiting for the plant to come down. Is that why?
Spike planted.
Kafka gets one and immediately the reckoning should be down and there it is. But now this information has been given away of where the players are. So ideally with the Seeker and the dog, I think so that could be that for Wingman.
Oh.
One enemy.
Okay, that was sad.
One enemy
But Kafka,
remaining.
Kafka! A 1v1.
Needs
This
to
is
be a
all.
4K.
4K and clutch this round for their team.
Look out.
Oh no!
Attackers win.
Look, that was so smart, but it just didn't work. That is that. That is game set and not game set and match.
Yeah.
Match is 11, but the first game goes to
Yeah.
the nerds. They've done it.
Only the whiff hadn't come through.
But clearly, one thing, as I see myself over here, I just tend to wonder how you could see the difference in attack between both the teams. Could clearly show off that okay, there's something which is off, or something that is there which could be resulting in these two teams either having like a similar playing style or a very different one on attack. And on attack, we saw the difference. Angry Nerds made sure they were always playing a split. There was never a situation where they were only attacking one part of the map. Whereas for Sakura, it was always a rush. It was a 5-man stack, and then it was a rotate back to spawn. 5-man stack, rotate back to spawn. And
Yeah,
it
it was
works.
also it did have a minimal amount of success. I think the main issue was Team Sakura's team comp. The agent select sort of forced them to go for those aggressive plays because they weren't running double initiator. They only had Sky as their initiator, which although provides some good recon here and there, they're not a recon. They don't specialize in flash or recon, so their offense is going to struggle a little bit. And then they weren't able to use their controller util in the best way as far as helping them entry onto site, so they struggled on their offense. Then we switched sides, and it just came down to a lot of winning gunfights for Angry Nerds. And they were running a more aggressive comp, so they were going to be able to rush or trade each other off a lot easier using the util that they had. And you just end up seeing an unfortunate loss for Team Sakura. 13-6 is a pretty bad scoreline, if I'm honest, but it's not over yet. We still have Split and Lotus to come. It'll be interesting to see if Team Sakura can bounce back.
I mean, yeah, at the beginning, we were talking about how Team Sakura did have like a more convenient or more of like, hey, we can have a composition which is more on the defensive side. But it clearly didn't work out in their favor on the defense. So clearly, I think so they'll have to have a team talk, discuss like, hey, we can understand. I think so the next map we're going to is Split. It's something which I've not casted in a very long time. But what is going to be focused over here is similar to Pearl. That's the one similarity which Split has with Pearl, is mid control. But in this game, we didn't see that much of mid control in any of the rounds. But that could change in Split, and that is what we need to watch out for. Could we see Chamber? You never know. But until then, we'll take a short break.
Yeah.
And we'll be back with the second map. So until then, stay tuned. And we're
All
back.
right. Hello.
Yay.
Looks like you said, this map will be split going into it. Now, split, like you said, is very reliant on mid control, not as much as some of the other maps. Obviously, Pearl's also typically a mid control kind of map, or it can be. Although and I think once Angry Nerds was on the offense, we saw some more of that mid control come into play. When Team Sakura was on the offense, we didn't see them go mid very often. But yeah, split's a lot more mid heavy just because those entrances into the site can be really, really big choke points. So, what type of team comp do you think best facilitates that sort of defense sidedness or mid control that you typically want to see on split?
Interesting. I mean, you normally see if somebody wants to go for a double controller, you normally see Viper and you see Omen. That's the basic thing that you see because on mid you can easily get control using Omen. You can just get information of vents and you can get information even up mid. But ideally, I mean, I saw this one team long back. It was in the Challengers League. There's a team known as MLT, like it's in India, and they played with Harbor. Another very interesting composition of how you use Harbor. But the thing about Harbor is it's so unorthodox that it wasn't that viable. They didn't go on to win on split, but it just showed like what potential it could be used. Because you can easily get control of a site. Like it's like use reckoning and there's so much information you can gather. Or if you want to just like use a high tide and cut so much of A and allow yourself a path through while covering even heaven. So there's a lot. But ideally, I think so. We're going to see a more controller setup. By looking at both teams, we know that Angry Nerds is in the lead. So you could see them playing a little bit passive and holding it back. But let's see. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, that is definitely a good point. One thing that I think, like you mentioned, Chamber. I think Split is a map where Chamber can be viable. Obviously, it's not like some of those other maps like Pearl where you've got super long angles, but still, I think the Split does favor Chamber quite a bit. Even maybe a little bit over the Jet. Typically, we've seen this sort of meta of double duelist on Split. Most maps you don't see double duelist, but on the split, we often see Jet and Raze type of double duelist. But with the addition of sort of this chamber buff, we may see Raze and Chamber as this sort of more, to be sort of the players getting kills, if that makes sense, right? Because Chamber's typically going to be a higher fragging agent. Even though they're on the Sentinel role, you're not going to be pushing like you would with Jet. You still are going to be holding angles and finding picks with Headhunter sort of force. I'm very interested to see if that Chamber does come out. We also have that, obviously, the Initiator in Sky comes out quite a bit. And then it'll be interesting. Sometimes we've even seen Sage a few times. You can use that wall to take good mid control. So you're right, double controller comes out sometimes, double duelist comes out sometimes. It'll be a bit of a toss up. Obviously, Angry Nerds favored that more aggressive sided comp on Pearl. We'll see if that's going to be the same story here.
I mean, clearly, otherwise, if they want to just have a bit more of fun, you always see Sky. I'm just going to be blunt. You'll always see Sky because she's too overpowered. But if somebody takes Chamber, I have to go back and read my own article on Chamber because I remember you talked about Split. And before like Chamber got the buff to his radius of the alarm bot or the I don't remember the French name for it. Sorry, the ability per se. Yeah, correct. Sorry, trademark. Thank you. So
Okay.
as such, yeah. So when the radius increased, after that you saw a lot of utility. You was played in a very different manner to what you normally see. But clearly now you have to find out. Okay, if Chamber's taken, how much are you pushing back the opponent, or like how you can play him? Because ideally, a player who I would actually see, or agent who I want to see is Omen, simply because the amount of flank ability which you get with and map presence which you have with him is a lot. It's quite a bit. But let's see, we might go to the agent select now. I think so the players are ready. I think so the production is ready. Also, shout out to the production. They're doing amazing work. You can see, just put /production in the chat and you'll see who they are. Do give them a follow. You got Sleepy Boy right next to me over here. And yeah, I just wanted to appreciate everybody before. And also Crunch Gaming and EVC. And now you're going to the agent select.
And also you, Draco. Don't forget about yourself.
It is what it is. We are not used to celebrating ourselves now, are we? But yeah, agent selection right in front of you.
All right, let's see what these teams decide to go for. already, I believe that is Angry Nerds. We see that Jet being tantalized. They're thinking about it. We even see that Raze being hovered. But over on the side of Team Sakura, they've already locked in Raze, which does make me think they're going that double duelist. You're probably gonna see that Jet come out potentially. Maybe not. We'll see. And then we also have over on the side of Angry Nerds that Sage is gonna be coming out, like I talked about. Ooh, not gonna be double duelist. It's actually double initiator. I should have obviously process of elimination. They needed a controller, and that's that Omen you talked about. I am a little bit curious as to why Angry Nerds is hovering Brimstone right now. A
I
little
am.
bit-
Wait, 1 second. Why is? Oh, we forgot to mention about police. I mean, officer. Officer is good, but officer, I think so. He might be playing the flanker role. I mean, you could see him more efficient on the flanker role. But Brimstone is quite a good. I mean, quite a useful
Choose
pick. You
your
got 3
agent.
smokes instead of 2. But I think so. Is he disconnected? Because he's not like his agent. But that composition, if what is in front of us, uh, I think so. He has DC'd. I'm not so sure. If he has, I think so. He's going back into cast risk. But okay, no, he's not DC'd. Thank God. But clearly now you can see over here. I'm trying to figure out what is going to happen. So the sage wall comes into mid. On the on the attack, you'll be useful for the plant. But where else are you going to use the sage? That's my question. On the attack, where do you use sage? Like I've seen sage being used quite a bit. But I simply don't get the point now because you've got different agents and you've got a different environment of Valorant or an ecosystem per se.
Yeah, I mean, obviously having Sage instead of a Cypher, a Killjoy, a Chamber even, you're gonna be struggling a little bit to watch flank. You're not gonna be able to pretty much at all. So Sage is really gonna be more useful for the healing, the resurrection, and then being able to aggress onto site and get that spike down and playing post plant. Obviously that wall can be a big factor in post plant. It can also, help make sure, okay, the spike's down. Let's make sure nobody's flanking, and that's when you put the wall down. Obviously, the wall has limited timing, so you do need to be careful about when you're using it, and of course the timing on that. But I do think it'll be interesting to see to see how this sky or this sage is used. Because again, you bring up a good point. It's a difficult agent to use on offense. Obviously, it's going to be favoring the defense a little bit more. And this double duelist comp will allow more of that aggression on the side of Angry Nerds. So I would not be surprised if they do end up finding some value. It does look like Angry Nerds going to start off the pistol, moving in towards A, getting ready to push down A main. There is a good Cypher setup here on site. So they're going to have to push through that. The Jet dash right through the trip. Ooh, my swings off of it and is able to take them out. Last right click going to do just that. Down to half HP though. Still though, no trade. Although, there you go. Now the trade comes through from Knight. And now it does look like it's going to be evened out as the spike does get to go down. So we could see that Sage post plant like we talked about. Although they may not have even bought the wall as they did instead go for the ghost. They're able to actually find another pick. Pick does come through from Kafka, but it is traded off. Now we're going to see a player advantage for Angry Nerds as they're able to lock down the site. Do see Officer able to find a pick. It's going to make it a 1v2. Vanguard Officer also going to clean it up. 22 HP, but it doesn't matter. They still, the final player remaining, and they get that win for Angry Nerds.
I mean, officer. Okay, seeing officer that way is kind of terrifying, but yeah, sorry, my bad. But yeah, what do you say? I would say this. Now we look into officer. He is a clutch master. Let's just give him some credit. He's been clutching around for his team. It simply feels like without him, we would see a completely different team of, how do you put it, of Angry. Like, it's as simple as that. But clearly now we look into this and we're like, okay, where can things go haywire? Ideally, they shouldn't, if I'm being a bit honest, because clearly you get the first round and you play from that. But there's not a lot of information that you can get. But what on earth are we watching? What?
Okay.
How did Obi give the call?
They're able to lock it down, find that pick with the shorty. They do end up going down, but the Paint Shells follows it up by trading themselves off for a 2-for-1 special. And then, actually, we get another pick from this defense. Suddenly, it's a 2v4, and despite Angry Nerds winning the pistol and being able to force buy, in theory, they would have the gun advantage, and they do. It doesn't matter. Still, Team Sakura is able to get a 2-player advantage at this point, and guns can be picked up as well, so it's going to be a very difficult fight ahead for these Angry Nerds players. The spike gonna go down. Tommy getting ready to get that plant down, and it does. Now, have to figure out how to defend this spike. Fortunately, time is on their side. They've got quite a bit of time to play with because the rotate didn't come through until after that spike went down. And now Team Sakura coming in. They're clearing out Heaven. Spike is actually planted for Heaven, and maybe you could argue main, but it's not spotted from main, so they will have to swing it if somehow Team Sakura does get on that spike. Tommy, speaking of swinging, coming in through main, finds 2, does get traded off, but then you do see Vanguard Officer able to trade that pick off. So it's a 1v1 between Blade and Mr. Officer. And they do this, Vanguard Officer, sorry, and they find the pick, and that win will go to Angry Nerds.
I mean, clearly this is turning into a one-man show where we all are just watching Officer prove his mark as to, like, I can clutch it out and I have, what do you say, the law is under him. But clearly, he knows the law better than we do, the law of Valorant. But yeah, getting back into this, you can see the attack. And this is where it gets confusing. You have a situation where, how do I put it in a nice way? You have a situation where it's seeming like Angry Nerds have gone the way Sakura did. But right now you can see a split after so long. Like a split, which has been done, and they're just waiting. They're just waiting for this. The tripwire gets detected, and immediately the presence could be seen, but this doesn't work. The stinger works well.
Still, though, this eco for Angry Nerds is going to be difficult to find much value on, and Blade trying to prove it, but no, they get traded off, and it'll remain a 3v3. And although Mr. Knight got very low, the heal can come through, back to 100. Ooh, breach stun, trying to stun Tommy, but it's not like anybody was swinging. It was just to play time, and Tommy doesn't even get stunned. Still, though, this mid push has been halted ever so slightly. And it actually, I thought maybe we would see Mr. Knight back up to 100, but the regrowth actually going to have to do that job. Now
yeah,
this
for
3v3
Sage
can
it's 60. Sage heals itself to 60, and then for like your self heal. But if you're healing your teammate, it goes to 100.
Oh, interesting. You know what? I probably should have known that. It does seem Angry will be pushing over towards A, but look at this. Mai's on site waiting for it
30
with
seconds
the
left.
Vandal.
They found my wire.
Trying to find this pick
Cage trigger.
here.
Might be interesting. Ooh.
We do end up seeing a pick over in Heaven come out from the side of Tommy, and that does immediately give that player advantage. And although
10
Mai is
seconds
able to get a
left.
pick before they go down, that player advantage will be maintained for Angry Nerds. So although they went into this round with a gun disadvantage, coming out of it up a player to start it off, this will have to be a 1v2 from Wingman. He's got the breach util, clear out some space, but unfortunately it doesn't clear out Tommy, so he may, or they may incorrectly assume that that place is clear. They're not going to swing through main regardless, because they've revealed their position there, and instead they're going to go through Heaven. Stun comes out here. Guy position revealed via Guiding Light. Now they're coming through, trying to find something if they can.
Sorry,
But no, they're running into a cross, and they don't even find a pick before going down to the hands of Tiago. 3 rounds in a row now for Angry Nerds. What a good start to win an eco like that.
I mean, yeah, it was a pinch, man. It was a pinch and a half, but that's Angry just showing how they're playing today. They're just like, okay, we are going to relax it a little bit. We are not going to put an entire emphasis on Mr. Officer. But on the other hand, one thing can be said. They're sticking to their fundamentals. The minute the plant was down, Sky was trying to get all the information they could. Even though, like, even the dog beat the flash, and even like the rage is helping him out, and that is what you want to see, these basic small fundamentals in these games. Tiago knew what he was doing. I mean now Tiago can dance, but really it has to see what do the defense do. Are they again going to get taken aback due to the split, or they find a way to return back the favor?
Sakura is on an eco, so this could make it difficult as this double push up, 2-player push up through mid comes through. We'll see if they find much value. It looks like they want to go towards B Heaven. Meanwhile, we've got the lurk from Azula moving up ramps towards A Heaven. Nobody's directly watching it other than a Cypher Cam, so they're not going to find any player value. Meanwhile, the rest of the team for Angry Nerds has managed to push in towards B Heaven, but there are 3 players here on B to watch it. This will be a difficult push. Sage Wall could do some good util usage, some good sentinel usage, but unfortunately this wall is broken. Despite that though, 2 picks have come through for the side of Angry Nerds. We do see Lover able to get a trade pick and find another onto Tommy, and that will make this a 3v3. Although, unfortunately for them, we do have Azula able to find a pick. It is traded off though to make it a 2v2, but do end up seeing Kafka low on HP. So Mai and Kafka coming in for this retake, coming through alley, and they're making quite a bit of noise to get there. Now they're shift walking, but you do know Vanguard Officer can tell that they're coming from alley, ready to expect them. Able to take out Mai, looking for the second. Like I mentioned, Kafka is low on HP and runs right into the cross. Still doesn't matter because it is going to be Vanguard Officer to shut it down.
Shut it down, he does as well. Okay, now clearly the defense is getting over. So what can you do about it? You have to find a new strategy, and you can see that the defense have a good enough buy, but the economy after this round, if they lose it, is going to backfire. So now they have to take hard calls, and they have to take duels in mid. They have to show presence, and they have to be as effective as they can, because you have to push back the attackers. You have to waste time. You have to delay the push. But the panel comes into play, and the attackers are just telling them, "Thank you very much. You can go back where you started from."
Good pick
Oh,
for
God.
Zula to start it off. And again, this is a factor we saw play out quite a bit on Pearl, was once Angry Nerds got that player advantage, they pretty much secured their round. So hopefully for Team Sakura, that's not going to be the case here. So get ready to push through mid. Angry Nerds. Now, A site is actually only held by 1 player, and it's Mai with the Cypher util. So if this push comes through vents, they could find some value, although we do see Lover able to get in position, and Seekers end up coming out. They're going to see the extent of this push, as well as the Trailblazer, which does find a concussion, but still, regardless of that concussion, we do see an unfazed Tommy to be able to push through, and now it's just down to these 2 in screens to defend this site. Lover pushing out, finds value. Hopefully they do spot that player in heaven. Still though, that Sage Wall does allow this spike to go down and play some time in screens. Does get destroyed, but now the orbital strike can come through to do some damage, and it will take out Mai, who is too deep in the screens to get away with their live. We do end up seeing as well, it's followed off by a pick from Tiago. And yeah, that round ended pretty quickly after that spike went down. 5 rounds in a row now for Angry Nerds. What can Team Sakura do? And they call a timeout to figure it out.
Okay, timeout time to talk. And the funny part is, recently I was a part, like I was made to be an analyst for a game, and I used to take out the timeouts whenever the momentum was shifting against my team. Like I was like, yeah, I need to. It just helps the team out. It just really does. Even though if you're winning, if they lose 2 rounds in a row, just cut it out. But now, what do you have to think about this? In this round, it's a save. Okay, let it be. It's going to be 6-0, unless Sakura can pull something out of the bag, which is going to amaze me. They do have the showstopper. They do have an... Wait, what? Okay, they have the Breach Ultimate as well. But clearly, the showstopper is their trump card. How do you use this is going to be crucial. Because you have to minimum get 2 players. So ideally, do you keep this for the post-plant? Or you keep this in the beginning of the round? Just put that pressure. So
Yeah,
that's going to be something which you have to watch out. But Sleepy, I'll say one more thing, because I know. I'll just say one more thing. You have to wonder as to another aspect of this game. The players now have to wonder as to... You have to play together, because that is what Angry Nerds are doing. And I don't see that... How would I say? Togetherness? Per se, in Sakura? If you know what I mean.
Yeah, they're lacking some of that cohesiveness, but as you're talking about the showstopper on the side of Team Sakura, they also have that Rolling Thunder and the Neural Theft, but there's also 3 ults on the other side as well, and there's some of those aggressive ults. Blade Storm, Showstopper, Resurrection as well can turn the tides very quickly for Angry Nerds, so though there's a Showstopper available, they'll need to take out. It's no longer an option though, as we do finding an early pick and getting the spray down onto Blade, looking for more. Wingman with the Judge trying to deny some good entry, but no, only finds 1 before they go down. 3 kills now for Azula. Ace potential, in theory, although it is going to beat Tiago in male to spot this push coming in through mid. Oh, just barely Lover got past.
What?
Tiago's aware? No, they're just getting
timing!
out of there.
But now
how
they
this
know. Now
push
they know.
comes
They
through.
heard. No, they didn't. What?
Oh, what good timing! Still though, the ace does come through. As I talked about the ace potential, Azula finds it after mowing down those players on B site. Final denial in heaven comes through.
Yay! We get to see the first ace. Let's go. I mean, yes, Sage is also happy about it. Like, damn. But clearly, here is where the confusion begins. Why was there no gun out? If it is such a short angle, are you the shorty? Have a weapon,
There.
please. Like, Kafka, you have to now. I think the Kafka is like gonna push out. Gonna use a Roomba. Gonna use her nades, and they're gonna see some form of aggression over here. But they're again going B. Okay, this is interesting. If Kafka doesn't, there's no support for Kafka. That's the sad part. There's a bit of a flash. You have to use it again. Oh, that's a beautiful nade that's been pushed nearly. But nothing doing. They have stopped the push for now. But now they can detect the mid. There's a mid play as well. Okay. Interesting. Do you think they're going to get this?
The showstopper could play factory here for Tiago. They've been able to hold on to it from the previous round. Though, look at Wingman, able to find some engagement in garage. Although, no, as push comes through mid, actually finds a pick for Tommy. Lover is able to kind of ward off that push into A heaven, but it is traded off. And actually, the res comes out from Mr. Knight to make it now a 4v3. What can you do here? Kafka coming in through heaven, getting ready to try, maybe find a pick. They know there's probably going to be a player on Raptors, and they're able to win the exchange. Although, at the same time, Vanguard Officer is able to take out Mai, and that does make it still a player down for the side of Team Sakura. Kafka and also Wingman coming in through screens. Sage Wall is destroyed. Look at this. Showstopper could come out from Tiago and immediately stop this retake. Although, no. Players have come out through screens. Still, though, Tiago is able to find that pick coming through screens, and Mr. Knight shuts it down. 7 rounds in a row now, and I believe that was a buy from the side of Angry Nerds. Or, sorry, Team Sakura.
I mean, we kind of expected this, but then you tend to wonder, okay, what could be done more? If it's 7, we cannot see a 13, or can we? Do we want to see a 13? Or that's the question. Like, as a caster, you don't enjoy when a team is completely having a landslide situation because you want, you look at the game as a fan. You're just being a bit more analytic. But clearly, this B push and the B split for mid is simply there's no again. The showstopper. This doesn't look good now, does it? And they can rotate back. But clearly, there's a difference over here. There's a little bit of a difference that you can see. Mai is pushing up. The minute they come in, like, okay, there could be somebody over here. They're pushing back. They're pushing up, getting map control. Mai is in a very good spot. If they somehow do not go to there and they either go to swirls, immediately the Mai is going to be the biggest flank we ever see. But Mai running back, that's not going to be effective, is it now?
Yeah, I think Mai might be able to get some advantage, but at the same time, this push coming in through heaven could deny any of that advantage that might come through. Look at this. Does end up getting traded. Okay. Now Angry Nerds does not have that player advantage, and Mai coming in for this flank could find some value.
Spike planted.
Now this was half buy coming out from the side of Team Sakura, so you're gonna want to win it to an extent. You see some of these players' guns that they forced. Lover's able to find a pick, but it's immediately traded off. 3K that ends up coming out from the side of Azula. It's traded off finally, but it's a 1v2 now for Blade. What can you do? Coming in through screens. Gonna have to break his Sage Wall. Able to do it. Uses a whole mag to do so. Has to go for the reload. Now coming in through screens. Gonna clear at elbow, but the timing as Vanguard Officer peeks out. Perfect timing there. 8 rounds in a row now. You said you don't want to see it 13-0. And unfortunately, it might be looking like we're going there. Although, it is a more offense-sided team comp from the side of Angry Nerds. So when we switch sides, there's always the chance that Team Sakura bounces back.
My god, I have okay, sometimes you just want to wonder what can be done as a defense. And clearly Kafka has now changed. You're like A. But the attack is going B. They're getting so much util. Azula is just happy. The confidence is there, and now they're trying to do a triple flank. Now this triple flank has to work in a certain way. Kafka has to get the timing right and has to be support at the same time. I'm surprised they are waiting for the smokes. Okay, so they see the jet, but this doesn't work in their favor. Oh no.
Eyes down.
Okay, what?
Wow. Zula able to entry, gets
Enemy
two.
remaining.
At the same time, you've got Tommy finding one as well, and another in mid.
planted.
There's still one more player mid. It's Wingman, but suddenly left in a 1v5, trying to prevent the flawless round. They do have a Rolling Thunder, but it may be a waste to use it here. Ooh, Mr. Knight, Wingman meeting each other, coming in through the lobby, and the flank comes through from Tommy. 3 kills for Tommy in the round to make it a 9-0 lead for the side of Angry Nerds. Now, I know you said you don't want to see 13-0, as I said last round as well, but what I do like about this is it does show promise for Angry Nerds moving forward in this tournament. Maybe they won't be as bad as they have been, as they're currently 0 for 3.
I mean, they are 0 for 3, but the whole point is at what cost is this happening? This demolition was something which none of us expect. I expected like a closer game, but clearly seeing
Yeah.
this demolition just shows you that, okay, there is some difference that you have to watch over here. But clearly now it makes you wonder. Look at they again going B. You can see you have to have some form. Like either you stack B, stack mid, and now this mid stack is gonna come into play. But how's Azula gonna deal? Azula literally just sees her, man. But guess what? Officer's just dead.
One down.
Officer buff, man. Officer buff.
It just seems like maybe this eco deficit is not going to be played well, and wow, beautiful execution from Angry Nerds to continue to dominate this map. Keep in mind, this map is typically a little bit defense-sided.
I mean, it is. I am trying to find now. I'm actually going back to the stats as much as I can about Angry Nerds. I'm just curious to know what went wrong for them. Oh,
I don't know how they've struggled so much up to this point. This looks like, I mean, this is like Loud versus pretty much any other team in Americas during the regular season. This is very, very dominant from the side of Angry Nerds. It almost seems like they're smurfing in this tournament. How did they get 0 for 3 to get here? The question to ask. We do have Azula getting ready to entry into Garage to find some value, although they are pushed back and they take quite a bit of damage, so prevent some of that value. Scudder gonna come through. Ooh, he has a concussion, but nobody springs off of it. And Vanguard Officer is able to anti-flash and finds that counter pick. We then have Zula able to find a pick as well. Now we've got Mr. Knight able to find a pick. Ooh, maybe there's a chance here for Kafka to have an impressive individual performance. They're able to find a kill. Just need one more to even it out. But no, never mind. They're gonna need to find 2 more as the res does come through. And Azula is back up. This is going to be difficult.
Stim beacon down.
They do start this entry into sight. This fight can go down on A. The remaining players for Team
Spike
Sakura have to
planted.
make the decision. Do we go for the save?
enemy
No, they're just going
remaining.
to try and
Oh.
force it, trying to get into screens, and immediately Kafka is shut down. Leaves his Mai in a 1v4. Ooh, they got the other Sentinel. Ooh, to peek out the Jet as well, but no. They do go down. Vanguard Officer says, enough is enough. You're going to jail.
Last round in the half.
okay. So I found a little bit of stats about Angry Nerds and why are they not being good. So the 2 teams that they've lost to are Tamas and Team Eternals, who are both the teams who are right now 4-0. And the third game turned out it was a forfeit. That is why they have played against the top 2 teams from their group, and this is the first game with the middle ranks. And like the other game which they had to play, they forfeited away. So there is that. And the game they forfeited was against
Get out of my way.
the third place, whose name is We Will Cook. Okay, damn, look at the Jet. Jet is just enjoying today, but now they've given away side control. Okay, what on earth am I watching? Sleepy, we might be actually going for a... Oh god, I don't want to see a 30. No. But if this does happen, this doesn't look good. This really doesn't look good, does it now?
Angry Nerds is playing like my ranked teammates when we're on an 11-0 win streak. They're sort of just having fun at this point, messing around as much as they can. Just they know they're gonna win their gunfights, and so they're going to just do whatever they feel like in this last round, and they make it look dominant with a team ace. Each player finds a pick, and it's now looking like a possible
Switching
13-0.
sides.
All that Angry
Match
Nerds
point.
needs to do is win the pistol, and the game is over, and it actually looks like a GG is being called already.
Huh? Wait, really? Damn.
That's what they were saying in the chat, but
Oh, that's
the game's
sad.
not over.
I mean, I have seen a comeback from 11-1. I'm just saying that.
But have you seen it here in EVCX Crunch League?
No, not yet, not yet. I want to see that comeback, and I hope to see that comeback. But till now, we haven't seen like a. I think so. I would say this. Till now, Angry have faced against the best teams in the tournament. Their group consists, if we go into a bit of a detail over here, the group consists of 9 teams. They have faced 3 out of the 8 teams. They have to face 3 out of the top 3, and they already finished it.
Triggered.
So now it depends if they're going to run more low, because they can get a 5-3. They can end the tournament 5-3 if they continue like this, because they're showing literally demolition over here. But Tommy's just waiting. He knows that what on earth?
Tommy being a little bit too aggressive, you might say. Trying to gain some vision, maybe even go for a flank, but the entirety of Team Sakura is spotted coming through. They find an easy pick onto Tommy. The question is, will a trade pick end up coming through? At this point, Angry Nerds down 2 players, may not be able to get the 13-0. There could be potential here for possible win here if a 12-round win streak comes through.
Enemy down.
Although Vanguard Officer is still alive. Still though, it's a 2v4, so it's not the most winnable position to be in. Got Mr. Knight in heaven. Gonna hear this extent of the push. They really know it's a B hit. Question is, can Mr. Knight find value unchecked for a second there? Able to find a pick. Ooh, what a nice double headshot with a classic. I wish my classic aimed that straight. Now we're in a 2v4 or 2v3. More winnable for Angry Nerds. Never mind, they don't clear out my. What a whiff! Vanguard Officers able to get away with their lives. Doesn't matter. Blade has come through into heaven. And it won't be a 13-0. Unfortunately for Angry Nerds, they're going to be upset they weren't able to get that 13-0. I've seen this happen before, though. I've seen teams get to this 12-0 position, and then it switches sides, and they just can't get the 13-0. Typically, that team... I mean, at this point, I hate to be blunt, it's over for Team Sakura. I'm not going to lie.
I am just interested, man. I don't know what is happening in the chat. I will read it afterwards, and I don't feel like reading it. But all I can wonder now is, can we see a reverse sweep of the biggest caliber? Can we? Maybe. Because this attack round was actually very good. Sakura actually did really well on the attack, rotating when needed and getting picks on these untimely runs. So let's see. Is it going to work in their favor or not?
I mean, we'll see. I mean, obviously, gun advantage here this round, so Sakura should be able to take it. We could see, you know, some potential here. Ooh, Mr. Knight able to find value and another classic right click. The burst fire going to do a little bit of damage there before getting traded off, so there will be Omen low on HP. Could be an easy pick, and it does seem as though it will be. So far, these kills have been traded off back and forth, but look at Tiago, the sole defender now on B, and all they have is this shorty, no boom packs to get them further onto the site. Just gonna have to play in garage. Ooh, although Tommy, what a good pick. Gun can be picked up. It's only a Spectre, but still better than the Stinger they were holding on to previously. Ooh, trade pick though. Again, they just keep getting traded off, and like I said, that shorty can have bit of a struggle to find value. Down to Vanguard Officer. Can they clutch out the 1v2 to secure their team a 13-1? No, they can't. They're getting hit from behind and from the front. Okay, alright. Two rounds for Team Sakura.
I mean, yes, we got to see 2 rounds, but guess what? It's a bonus. And we know what happens during the bonus. The better weaponry goes to the team who lost the 2 rounds. So now, on the defense, are we going to see the most aggressive play done by them? And if so, how? And how are they going to deal with it on a whole?
I mean, this is not... Obviously, Team Sakura is just going to keep forcing as much as they can. They lost so many players in the previous round, it does make it difficult to get the best guns into the hands. And Angry Nerds, of course, going to be able to afford a full buy off of that previous round being an Eco round. So the gun advantage going to be in the hands of Angry Nerds this round, although ever so slight because Team Sakura, again, did force quite a bit going into this round. They've got some decent guns, but it's still not going to be easy for them. Look at how slow they're playing. They send Mai pushing up a little bit in A, trying to find some vision. Can't find anything, though. Sends the cam out. Sage wall in mid. Gonna completely deny that push up Gonna have to break it, which will give vision to Angry Nerds as to where these players are. Or they're just gonna wait for it to drop, but that could be a minute. Getting ready to drop here pretty soon.
Oh.
There you go, it drops. Vanguard Officer invents. Gets past the boom bot and can go for a flank.
The timing!
Fight goes down. Vanguard Officer finds 2, although trade picks come through. So that will keep it at 3v3, evened out player count. It's
I don't
played.
think so they know about Thiago. I
30
don't think so they
seconds.
know. They don't!
They don't clear out Thiago, you're right. And now they're going to be able to maybe... Oh, never mind, they spot them. They know this wraparound is coming through. Mai's going for a big lurk coming in through mid.
Remaining.
Oh,
And is able to find value, so does leave it in a
Beautiful.
1v2, and it's not going to be won by Azula.
yay! 12 all, overtime.
One step
Sorry.
past these
I would want that. I'm not even gonna lie. I do want that because now Sakura getting into the groove. Now they are. Where was it during defense? Where was this? Where was this aggression? Where was this confidence? It felt like the Melton went. The timeout didn't help. And now, if they clawed back, trust me, if they clawed back and they take it to map 3, I will clap for them so much because they truly deserve it. But these are all ifs, whats, and maybes. So let's see what the
I
attackers
mean, I
have
already
in plan
said
now.
it's over, so I'm gonna stick to that prediction.
Okay.
Look at this. Ooh, Bucky not gonna find much value, any at all. Although Tommy and Raptor is able to find some value. Neural Theft has come out though, so Tommy is completely revealed in their position. So is Azula. They know where these defenders are.
What?
Okay, that was almost dangerous there. Azula with the Sheriff, not gonna find any value there. Leaves it down to Tiago in a 1v4. Try and find anything if they can. Mai in Heaven. Have that Cypher
Spike
Cam.
planted.
They know where Tiago is now. Tiago, just at this point, gonna try and deny some eco. Find a few picks if they can. Maybe watch exits. Kafka. Raises meet each other. Still
I'm wondering
no
which
damage
gun is
done.
Thiago on? Or which gun does Thiago have right now?
Tiago has a Sheriff. So
Oh, so
Healed my call.
there's nothing to save.
they win the encounter. Gun diff didn't matter. Still though, we do see Blade able to find that final pick. So, you know what? We can cope all we want. And it looks like Sakura's doing just that. We'll see. Maybe, you know what? I'm happy to be disproven, but I never believe in a comeback until the team that needs to make the comeback is winning. And it's going to take quite a bit to get there. So if we go to OT, I'll believe in Sakura. But for now, I still am going to be the pessimist here.
All the way best with that, man. I mean, it does happen. How do I put it? You do think about it, but I have been a very hopeful person. I think so that way. So I'm like, yep, okay, I believe that something could happen. So let's see. It's going to be very interesting to watch out as to who's going to be there.
So that Mr. Knight going to be the one in Beat Heaven to see this push coming in through Mail. And the Sage Wall actually comes out in response. It does get destroyed, and there you go. Trailblazer able to clear into Vents. So they know there's a player in Vents, possibly, and they know there's a player in Heaven, possibly, after that Sage Wall. So they're very aware where these players might be. They're very aware where this defensive hold may be coming from. But look at Tommy. Push up in Garage finds nothing. So no trade even. So they do just go down. Player advantage in the hands of Sakura. Starting to look like now that Sakura's on offense, they're feeling so comfortable. Look at this though. Team Sakura off of that pick, rotating all the way over to A. And you saw Angry Nerds position themselves to defend B because they lost a player on B. So they leave only one player in A. Now, you do have Tiago in Vents for an easy rotate towards Heaven if needed, but wait a minute. They've actually wrapped around to go through sewers towards mid. Could that be a mistake? Maybe not. We do
30
see a pick come
seconds
through from Mr. Knight, but they are traded, so player advantage maintained for Sakura. You have the aftershock coming through, which prevents Tiago from pushing through Vents, and it allows this push to Heaven to start, but the orbital strike comes out, and off of that, Azula can play, and they find a pick to make it a 3v3.
Okay.
Azula finds another before going down to make it a
10 seconds
2v2, so maintaining that evened out player count. Spike will get to go down. Mai's taken out, though. It needs to be a 1v2 clutch. It needs to be a 1v2 clutch. Can Wingman do it? May not be on Gecko. Could still be the Wingman for their team. Secure it.
Oh,
Spike just going to be held. Ooh, Rolling Thunder comes out. Spike gets half, though. Still, though, time... Oh!
what?
They just barely aren't expecting Tiago in. Help! The flash! What a good flash! That could be it. It is! And the 1v2 clutch comes through. Sakura continues their run to try and make a hero play.
That's not ready. Time to take these arms for a
Oh god damn! They're going bonkers, aren't they? I mean, that's what you want to see. You don't want to see a one-sided affair, but that was a beautiful clutch. Using the Rolling Thunder to just push them off the side, stun them so much to a point like, okay, what is happening? And Wingman got a bit lucky, but he knew when to use his ability and the U-turn. Clearly, I'm just watching at this point. I'm watching as a person to see what can they cook. They are cooking. The thing is, you cannot overcook. You overcook and you're over. But they're cooking at the just right amount.
Ooh.
And you just want to see how much further can they go with this.
Played some pulled out by Zula, but they end up getting concussed and pushed back. Seekers end up finding value. Zula may be cleared out here, and they do get cleared out. Mai also finds a pick onto the Sage. And then we have Kafka finding a pick as well, and leaves it in a 2v5. Now, I believe this is an eco half buy from the side of Angry Nerds, so
One enemy remaining.
they're expected to lose. Just try and find something before going down, but no, Wingman denies any play for Tommy, and it just leaves Officer who goes down to the hands of Wingman.
Yay. You wanna see this? I mean, okay.
I'll rough them up.
They've got how many more rounds to go? I'm just looking over here like, okay, how many more rounds are left to be there? We are another 6. They've got 6 in a row. They could get another 6 in a row. But if they do, by God, this will be one of the best comebacks I have ever seen. I'm just being honest. But you don't call a comeback until it's a comeback. So let's see. Now that they see that, okay, this aggression of mid is not working out in their favor, are they going to push into B? They should be. I feel like they should be going to A, but let's see if that works out or not.
I feel like Angry Nerds keeps doing the same thing over and over again in the way that they're holding these sites. Just hoping it'll pay off one time. Tommy, pushed up in A, gets taken out. The only defender on A. A side is clear. It's a free site to just push into, and all of Team Sakura will go into heaven, and it looks like they're going to pivot, possibly to mid. They clear out vents a little bit. No, it looks like they may want to commit. Look at
What
Vanguard
on
Officer.
earth?
And it should get on the site. These players just holding heaven. Now, nobody's going to peek it from the side of Angry Nerds. So this gives some value, and for the first time, I think if ever Vanguard Officer whiffs a shot, not looking the right way,
Spike
it
planted.
does allow a pick to come through from the side of Team Sakura. So they're up 2 players now.
Look at the back of side. It's spawned.
Lover's able to find a pick. Wingman finds one, leaves it in a 1v5. They do have a showstopper. But at this point, Diago probably just going to be trying to get away with their life. Gets one, prevents the flawless. If I'm Diago, I'm saving here. No, they want to keep pushing for another pick, and they get denied. 7 rounds in a row now. What do you think Angry Nerds needs to do to switch this up?
Timeout. Take a goddamn timeout. Take a timeout. Go and get a glass of water. Have a bit of water. Have a chill talk. Discuss about what the weather going to be tomorrow. And then play. Because at this point they're getting tilted. The mental is insanely tilted for both teams. And on defense. This is going to be interesting to watch. The defense is going to be something which if I have to do a VOD on, I'm going to be more confused as to like how did they lose their defense and how mental. And I would want to talk to their coach or whoever is there because this doesn't look good for them. This never does. But Thiago realizing that he has to create that space for his team. Just push it onto side. The flash comes into play and they immediately know, okay, Sage is here. So you clearly either rotate, you call spam, and you push onto side.
I do like to see... I like to see Green Nerds switching it up, though. They played a little bit differently here, putting down that Sage wall. This is the first time we've seen it go down in Garage, so being a little, switching it up from what they've been doing to try and change something here. And you do see, in response, Team Sakura adapting a bit, just going to sit in Garage, just hold this, wait for that Sage wall to completely drop. They destroyed the wall initially, which was to deny vision, which is typically what you should be doing, and now... After time being waited out, Showstopper ends up coming out from the side of Thiago, and it doesn't find value. We end up seeing Kafka entry, and they still have Showstopper if they want to use it, but they're up a player at this point. They have the gun advantage. It may just be a waste of an ult to use it at this point. They also have that Rolling Thunder, has already gotten back up. Very, very likely will be needed here. Gotta play every round like it's your last.
Hawk out.
The Angry Nerds getting ready to push in for this retake. And there you go. The Showstopper comes out, takes out the neighboring Rays, and then we see a trade come through from the side of Azula. So still, ooh, what on earth was that? Was that a molly kill?
What on earth?
Okay, concussions, trying to spray it down with the Spectre. Not going to find much value there. 1v3 is what Tommy's left in. What can you do here? They find a pick onto Wingman. Ooh, make it close, but no, Mai shuts it down, and there wasn't time regardless. All the players die. Still, though, another round for Team Sakura.
Oh god, this is okay. Ideally, now take a break. I don't think so. They're going to call a break because that's not going to happen. So what you have to do is play on the post plant. You know what? Just play on the post plant. You've got ability. You've got the Sky Seeker, then you've got a Resurrection. So play on the allow one person to die on site or in a place where they will not be able to. Where you'll be able to resurrect them. So you can have like a 6v5. Do not die away. Do a full stack. Just like finish it off. Get the information and full stack rotate how much you can. And Azula has to inform his teammate. Azula's told me that hey, look, there's somebody coming over here. And immediately, the smokes are coming into play. They might know where he is. So they have to push back as well. But clearly, the rotations at B have to take place as soon as possible.
Did spot Tommy, so that's why that paint shells came out. But nobody played off of that, so Tommy was just forced into the rafters and was able to just stick there. Ooh, orb ends up being picked up. Azula spraying it down a little bit, does some damage. It's an okay amount. Nothing super meaningful. And now this rotate gonna start to come through from the side of Team Sakura, getting ready to move towards mid. Look at how aggressive Tiago's holding at this point. Now Seekers are available for Team Sakura, and it looks like they want to use them, but Tiago may find value before they come out, and they do, and they get traded. Vanguard Officer, though, able to trade that pick off onto Lover, and guess what? They're still alive, making it a 4v3. Finally, for the first time, Angry Nerds in this half has a player advantage. Could this be the round to shut it down? That is the question. Seekers end up coming out from the side of Angry Nerds. Coming through to detect those players in mid. Shots come through. So they know the rotation in towards the main entrance hasn't started yet. Now it's coming through from Team Sakura. These players on site going to be the ones to determine that. Mr. Knight backed up by Azula in heaven. 13 seconds left. Time pressure applied. Mr. Knight mows them down. Two-player advantage here on the side of Angry Nerds. This could be it.
Done.
Mr. Knight takes out Mai. And although it was an impressive, heroic run, this game will end 13-8. What a good comeback, but still not enough. It's a fake comeback. And like I said, when it was 2-13, it's over. This round, this series goes to the side of Angry Nerds. There you go.
Welcome back to everybody. I mean, at this point, people are just insane. I mean, I could see Echo over here, and hi Echo, how are you doing? But yeah, I mean, if you look at the stats, I mean, which we should be looking into this game, because you have to understand, like, I'm just going to go a little bit understanding of the stats over here of the players. But clearly you can understand one thing was, today was a day for, how do I put it, for simply Officer to show how good he is. But Sakura showed something which you rarely see, is that fighting urge. Like, I remember when it was 12-0, you were like, it's over, done. But there was something about them on that first pistol. I was just like, they do have a chance, and they got 8 rounds in a row. So the mental, while we talk about it, it was not good in the defense, but during the attack, it felt like something got hungry. They got really passionate about it.
Yeah, I do think Valorant is inherently a game where defense is going to be strategical a lot of the time. And in sort of lower ranked tournaments and lower level play, even in rank play, oftentimes the offense can find a lot more value because some teams just don't know how to strategize around that offensive push, especially on a map like Split, where there's so many entrances to watch in a way, even though there's a small amount of them, when the offense is able to aggress through them with their util, the defense sort of can be at a loss for what to do. We saw it happen from the side of Team Sakura when they were on defense, where they just struggled to do literally anything. I mean, they did nothing. They got no rounds. And then we switched sides, and again, similar problem for Angry Nerds. Had Team Sakura put up, 3 or 4 rounds on their defense, there may have been a chance for a comeback. But they didn't put up anything. And so, although they were able to make a very impressive win streak, and I'll acknowledge that, it was pretty much over when we went into the second half 12-0.
I mean, yeah, you can. How do I put it? If it was even 8-4, they would have gotten it to 12-8 if they got 8. But that's what you cannot give away so many rounds. That's the whole point. If you give away so many rounds, the clawback is going to be tougher. And for any team, it's actually that if you give away rounds, you have to claw it back. But one thing which they played, and I was very happy about, is they played on attack like if every round is a new round. They didn't care about that. Okay, these people needed 1 to win. They were like, we are at 0. We need to make that 0 as high as we can take it. And taking it to 8 with the clutches, even by Wingman. Wingman had an amazing clutch over there in the middle using the Rolling Thunder and the flashes and the stun to just delay the diffuse. Even though it was half stuck. It was half stuck. But that is how it is. And that is one thing which you like to see. And really grateful that we could see this game, because people might be like, both teams were 3-0 before this game. One team becomes 3-1, the other one becomes 0-4. But clearly it just shows you that these teams do have a passion to win. They're not going to give up. They will never give up. There'll be a little bit of banter here and there, but the chance of them giving up are very little. And that's what we want to see. And there's that. I would like to thank the production today has been there with us, even through a lightning storm. One of the people were there at the back. So thank you for them. Thank you, Foxy. Thank you, Magnum. Thank you, Strange. I'm naming everybody over here. Thank you to EVC. Thank you, Sleepy Boy, and Crunch Gaming. Thank you, Sleepy Boy, for being a part with me. Like, whenever I join this thing, I'm just wondering, like, hi, how much time can it go? We've never gone to a map 3 whenever I've casted. But if we do, it is going to be 2 a.m. for me. But right now it's 1:30. So I'm praying to God that there's no third. Like, there'll never, ever be a third map. I'm praying. But if it does happen, I'm going to stay up and I'm going to get a lot of water on me. So, ending the stream off, I would like to thank everybody who's in here. Please follow the socials of Sleepy Boy and everybody else who's in the production. Exposure is important, and yeah, let's just enjoy and have fun at this game. So yeah, Sleepy, would you like to say anything?
Too. Follow Draco too.
I can
he's up very late in the night. I'm in America. It's like it's 1 p.m. right now. He's on the other side of the planet. It's 1 a.m. for him. So I gotta give him props for being here this late. So yeah, very exciting matches. I'm excited to see how much further Angry Nerds can go. Maybe they'll start a win streak to qualify for playoffs. That sort of situation. I'm excited to see where it'll go. But for now, this has been a fun day, and I guess see you all when we see you. Have a good one.
Day after tomorrow. Bye bye everybody. I'm going to sleep now. I'm done. Bye.